Let's get my Amazon thing going here. Finally back in one spot with a full week ahead of me, essentially, to get some stuff done. So that is what we're doing. All right. We should be live. So give me a second here while I get myself combobulated. And we're just going to do a rather not too long of a stream today because I'm actually working on a video right now involving the Xbox Series S, not to be confused with the 1S or the 1X. And if you head over to, let me see if it's on here still, because I saw another price. Let me take a look here real quick what we got going on here. Yeah, so the Xbox is currently on sale for $249 at many retailers, including Amazon, where many of you may be watching currently. And let me just do one thing real quick. And what I thought I would do is, probably for the Extras channel, is have a video kind of detailing what's in the box, but also what the differences are between the consoles, because there are some differences that people should be aware of, and there's a big one beyond just the resolution issues. But yeah, this is the Black Friday one, hence the gifting thing. I picked this up over the weekend. And I'm going to be doing, so obviously the Xbox Series S has been out for a while, but what I thought I would do is a video about, well, first of all, unboxing it, but also kind of focus on its media player capabilities, because I think the Xbox is a great media player. And this one in particular, because of its current price and likely future price, it's kind of a good deal. Because if you're a gamer and you're a media watcher, this kind of is the whole package. It's about 90% of the way there on the Plex side. We've covered that. It does support the lossless audio pass-through that we're looking for, so for sure. And Shane Jacket loves it, right? It's perfect for a media player. David Langley is here. Hello there. Yeah, our stream is off to a slow start getting viewers in, so I figured I would just wait for everybody to pop in. We're up to 42 right now. Usually I get a little bit more, but I also start a little bit earlier, so that could be part of it. We could admire the box, though. All digital, and that's a really important point to keep in mind. And then here's the back of it. But I'll tell you what, Microsoft has stock, not only stock that you can own for the company, but they have consoles that you can buy. These things are all over the place. I was surprised. I had waited, I snoozed a bit on the deal, and I took it finally. And you can actually get them. So there you go. Yeah, and this is another thing that this is really good for emulation. The Modern Vintage Gamer, MVG, did a great video on that. So there are some great emulation potentials there. Even though it's not as powerful as the Series X, it is more than adequate for that kind of activity. Although I think they made it a little harder, right? They made some things a little more difficult. My friend Trent Curtis is here. Oops. Where'd he go? There he is. I got to get back into my ham radio stuff too. I've got to get that. I got so tied up with the NASA launch for 2 months. I kind of fell off the track on my studying for my general exam for ham radio. So I got to get back to that. But we're going to get there. It's going to be a nice winter project to get my license upgraded and my antennas hooked up, all that good stuff. And Shane just got the Insignia remote. I have the 8BitDo one, so I may mess around with that. War Surplus is here. Hello there. Yeah, I think the digital sales are already on. I've got to go through there. I think the new Sonic game is on sale already, so I may pick that up. A couple others. And Drury, does your cousin like it? I think it's a great console. I'm very pleased with what Microsoft has done this cycle with the Xbox. The Xbox One was a good console. I think it was. I think the initial release of the Xbox One 10 years ago now, yikes, it was not a huge performance leap, in my estimation over the 360, there were certainly some graphical improvements, no doubt. But I think when they got to the Xbox One X, that was a nice bump. And if that had been the initial console, that would have been a nice big jump. But the Series X and S are really, I think, really solid. I have a Series X that I got last year upstairs. So it was great. And Trent said, glad they launched this time. Yeah. It was awesome. You know what was fun about this one? We'll get started with the unboxing in a minute. What was fun about the launch, and I'm going to do a little behind the scenes video where I just show you what I had in my bag, because it was fun from an efficiency standpoint, because I covered the first trip out, I had somebody with me, but my second trip I was by myself, so I had to really think about how to cover it efficiently. But what I love about these space missions is that whenever they run into a problem, once they solve it, they work super hard to get that thing off the ground, because when everything is working, it's kind of like, we got to go now, this is an opportunity. So once like they got all those, the leak resolved and the space radar thing resolved, they said, all right, we're going, 10-minute count, are we go, 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 go? I was listening to the nets, they're like, we're go, and they just started and went, and it was a clean countdown beyond that. It was awesome. Especially to be there, because there's so much excitement from everyone that's around you. So even the media, like even like the top tier press, if you will, who have to be, you know, not giving away any biases, they were excited. Everybody was excited. It was a good day for the country, I thought. So hey, Prime got the mouse. Awesome. Hope it's working for you. You won that, right? You were the giveaway winner. Chad Does It is here. And Drury says his cousin loves it. Yeah, no, it's a good console. And Frank says, Wii and GameCube emulation are enough to get my nephews on board. That's awesome that your nephews are into that. I got the Atari 50th anniversary that I plan to play with my daughters. And then I have the AV modded 2600 that we're going to get into as well. So that's going to be a lot of fun. All right, let me get my recording set up. So I'm going to make a little video for my extras channel, Xbox Series S unboxing, and I've got like a nice little graphic I'm going to put up also, kind of like a quick buying guide about what the differences are between the X and the S. And I think I might do that before we physically take it out of the box. And Zoran wants to know, am I into retro gaming, indie games, or all of the above? Although I will admit, I am less of a AAA gamer. I think so. I would say indie and retro. And it's partly just because of a lack of time is my big problem. Because I have kids, I've got the YouTube channel, and to be honest with you, when I turned this into my living, I became less interested in some of the things that I used to do for fun, because now I do them for a living. So the AAA titles, especially the ones that require a lot of time, I haven't really gotten into. Although there's an exception to that. Whatchamacallit, No Man's Sky. I'm like so hooked on that game, and I have the Steam Deck, so I've been playing it on there, and I've built out like this really cool base, and the base is above ground and underwater. So what's cool about No Man's Sky is that some of the really fun places that you visit in the game, just playing on a 2D screen, you can then hop into VR with a virtual reality headset, and it's ridiculous, like how awesome it is. So it's crazy. Yeah, this was a Space Force thing, and you know they honored the red team, the guys that went out and tightened the bolts on the rocket, and no joke, that thing had 500,000 gallons. 500,000 gallons of liquid hydrogen. So, you know, you picture the Hindenburg, that was gaseous hydrogen. Liquid hydrogen is significantly more energy dense, as was depicted when the rocket took off. And these dudes are going to tighten bolts up with that thing on the pad. I mean, you cannot have more hazardous work than that. And the guy that, one of the guys that went out had been training for this activity for 37 years and was never called upon to do it. He had other duties, obviously, related to fueling the rocket, but not the, you know, the red team kind of activity. So you think about the very quick decision tree that has to happen to take that risk, right? But on the network switch, so there was two things that happened. They had the leak where they had to send the people out to tighten the bolts. That was done. The other issue was that the Space Force had a network switch that went down for their radar, and that network switch went down like right when they were going to launch the rocket. Like, can you imagine a worse time to have a network switch go down? And I would imagine the Space Force, being the U.S. military, is not using the off-the-shelf garbage that I use. I mean, they're using, you know, big iron, top-level security devices, and perhaps the complexity of those might lead to the thing. But I would really love to hear from the IT people at the Space Force as to what they went through to get that working, because I don't think it's as simple as just swapping out a piece of hardware. I bet you they had to configure the whole thing, which was probably extremely high pressure when you think that the whole mission is riding on you getting the switch working again. It's kind of crazy, right? Yeah, the backwards compatibility is a great feature of the Xboxes. Even on this, you get 60 FPS. The issue that we're going to talk about when we start the unboxing video recording is that this one does not have an optical drive. So it will not play any of the physical games. And by the way, I just noticed my Timex Sinclair kind of fell down in the background there. Get that fixed. My wife was doing a lot of work around the house when I was gone, and I came home and things were kind of slightly out of place. I guess she tripped and she hit my camera, which knocked the cable out, long story. I got everything back up and running, but and you don't have to, I got to really look into this, because I have this now, so I want to play around with that. And one bag says they're using switches that share USB 2.0 data channels. And James Radoff says, but NASA, backup after backup. Yeah, so here's the interesting thing, is that the network switch was the Space Force network switch. So the way these work is the Air Force, now the Space Force, monitors the trajectory of the rocket. And if they determine that the rocket is going in the wrong direction, the Space Force has the authority to blow it up. And that radar is important for that self-destruct process. So, so that was what went down. So it wasn't a NASA radar, but it was that. And actually, it's funny, the first space shuttle launch that I went to, they also had a range safety issue, and I think it was related to another radar failure of some kind. And there was some communication that kind of came out afterward, like a recording of it. And I think there was like this poor private who's just it's on him to make the call, and they're all pushing on him. So they were able to launch that shuttle mission with like 2 seconds to spare. So it's not unprecedented that range safety issues are a problem, but it's crazy. Hey, it looks like the spammers already showed up here. Let me get rid of those folks here. All right, 99 mega is out of here. All right, so we're going to get started in a minute. We're going to record. So what I'm going to be doing is recording a video for my extras channel. It's going to be part unboxing, part comparative, if you will. So we'll get to that in a minute. Yeah, I was, it's funny. I didn't think about it until I came home. I was like, oh, that's right. I forgot it doesn't have an optical drive. But the Series X is awesome. So if that's the full package. I've got one upstairs that I got last year. Oh, one bag. So it was a joke, right? Yeah. That's right. That switch, that thing we reviewed was sharing the USB chip. That was the ARM. Right. But right, it used to be the Air Force would be the ones to blow it up. So in the first shuttle mission I went to, it was the Air Force that did that. All right. Let me get going on the recording here. So I'm going to, I will be back with your comments in a second, but I have to use the computer to display my slideshow, which is going to look like this. So what's going to happen here is I'm going to talk about this, and I've got a little chart. So I like to do as much as I can in real time. So if I can record it in real time, I usually do it. And so as far as I'm aware, I think these three things are the biggest differences. No optical drive, less storage, and a 1440p target resolution. So it's less powerful, but it doesn't need to be more powerful to run the games at that resolution. And if I'm not mistaken, I think the CPU performance is the same on both consoles. So that's kind of the gist of that. So there you go. All right, so let me get my slideshow ready, and I'm going to move this over to, there we go. Okay. All right, so we're going to do a quick recording. And if you've never seen me do one of these things live, what I do is I record the video, and then you all watch me record it. And then if I screw up, you can tell me what I screwed up on, and I record it again. That's how it usually rolls. All right, 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV, and we've got another unboxing. I picked up the Xbox Series S the other day, and I thought I would open it up here and also talk about the differences between the Series S and X, because I know a lot of people might be shopping for one of these as a gift, and you probably need to know what the big differences are here so you don't disappoint the recipient. Now, I do want to let you know before we unbox this that I paid for it with my own funds. All the opinions you're about to hear are my own. No one is paying for this unboxing, nor has anyone reviewed or approved what you're about to see before it was uploaded. So let's get into it now and unbox this. But first, let's take a look at what the differences are between the Xbox Series X and the Series S, because Microsoft manufactures two different game consoles right now. Now, the Series X, of course, is the top-of-the-line unit, and the biggest difference that it has over the X, beyond having more horsepower, is that it has an optical drive, and the Series S here does not. And that lack of an optical drive means that you won't be able to use physical discs that you purchase at the store with this one. And because the Xbox game library is so extensive and goes now across almost 20 years, all of those old backwards compatible games that you could pop into the Series X to play are not going to work on the S because it lacks the optical drive. So if you have a pretty big games library, my advice would be to go for the Series X so you can play those games. But if you've got a lot of games that you've purchased digitally, or you plan to really dive into the Xbox Game Pass service, the Series S is going to do well with that. But just remember, there are no physical games that you can play on this console, at least at the moment. Additionally, the Series S has less onboard storage, but there is an upgrade path. So you have 512 gigabytes on the S and a full terabyte on the X. And then, of course, the Series S is a lower powered device, so its max gaming resolution is 1440p, whereas the Series X can play games at a full 4K resolution. So if you have an older 1080p set, the X might be overkill because this one will run those games pretty nicely, even at high frame rates at 1080p. And that's really all you need on a 1080p television set. But if you've got a nice 4K television, the Series X might be the better way to go because it can take full advantage of the resolution that your TV offers. Now, as far as media playback is concerned, the Series S here will do 4K media, and we're going to be doing a video on its media playback capabilities in a little bit. And so if you are watching Disney Plus or Netflix or any of the other streaming services out there, this will support 4K video along with all the HDR modes, even though it can't play games at a 4K resolution. It can definitely play back the movies that you might want to watch at 4K. But again, this lacks an optical drive, so if you had a 4K Blu-ray movie, that of course will not play on here. All right, I think that worked. What do you all think of that? That was a good take. I went like in one shot. That's unusual for me. So let me go and grab the footage here. I may play this back. This was a long one. Wow, I went for a while. But I may play this back just to make sure that it's good, and then we'll move on. All right. So it looks like I was correct about the CPU, so that's good. And yeah, you could use Plex with this, although it doesn't support Dolby Vision with Plex just yet. And I like the quick resume also because sometimes my kids will come in and they want to play something and I'm off. Tamman loves the Series S for Game Pass. It's great for that. And Simeon says the 1440p is mostly an aspiration, which I think is probably correct. And getting some comments about perhaps a target resolution might be a better way to go on that. And Amda Brown has not been playing with his all that much. Yeah, I just haven't had time, you know, like every around this time of the year, I finally get time to jump in there and do it, but I would imagine there's probably going to be some external optical drive option that might be feasible through the USB port. Yeah, this is going to be my secondary, and mostly for demoing things on the channel, for sure. And CF owns a earlier Xbox One S model. So the difference is that this one, if you have a series, like a next generation upscaled game, this will work with it, just at the lower resolution. So there are some games that will be exclusive to this generation, and then some enhancements that will give you visual enhancements even at the same resolution. The games will look better because they can add more detail. All right, so James says that was good. Excellent. And then Andy says, don't forget the real hard drive. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And one bag. Okay, good. It looks like everyone says that I'm in good shape here. Manuel says, sling player or I'm out. Yeah, well, you're out. It's gone. Yeah, too soon. We're still mourning that. I got one in the back room. I should go find it and hook it up later and see what we can do with it. I don't think there is any game that cannot be played on the S that is also available for the X, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think you're going to see that. And Frank Mula, yeah, I'll tell you what, I've been digging the Steam Deck quite a bit. All right, let me just make sure I've got a good take here. This is like 3.5 minutes long, so I'm not going to play the whole thing back. But if you all thought it went well, then I'll just leave it as is and we'll just keep going. All right, so let's just do that. Okay, so let's go to the unboxing part now. And I think this teraflops thing is not the whole story, because the CPU performance may maybe not be identical, but it's close enough, right? So a lot of that processing goes into the higher graphics side of things. And Simeon says that Microsoft is mandating that any game that's released for X has to run on S. And I guess that makes sense, doesn't it? And I bet you that creates some challenges too, right? All right, so let's get to the unboxing part now. 3, 2, 1. All right, so let's get to the unboxing here. We're going to peel the sticker off the bottom and get into it, and we'll take a look at some of the physical attributes of the product here as we go. I just tore off a portion of the lower end of the box there, so hopefully this is not a collector's item a few years down the road. And when you pull off the tape here, so goes your box here, as you can see, unfortunately. And then we'll get the other one here as well. The good thing is I don't need a knife to get it open, so I guess that's one benefit. And here we go. So this actually reminds me a lot of the process of opening the Series X that I did about a year or so ago. So you've got your Power Your Dreams here. This is a considerably smaller console than the X. It's like half the size of it. And let's take it out of the packaging here, and we'll have a look-see at what it's all about. So pretty hefty, actually. It's got a good weight to it. And you can position this in two ways like you can with the X, which is, let me move the box out of the way here for a second. You can have it sit flat here, but you can also have it stand up because it has rubber feet on the side and on the bottom. You do want to keep all of the vents here clear because there will be a cooling fan running, although if the Series X is any indicator, I would imagine this will be pretty quiet in operation, and we'll cover that when I do my next video on the console here. All right, so I'm going to get my camera readjusted real quick because I want to zoom in on the ports. So let me get that situated. Yeah, I ended up picking this up. If you check my YouTube community post, I picked this up for $200. I got a great deal on it. So let me get my... And so what I'm going to do probably now is part with my 1X. So I had a 1X and a 1S and a Series X. So I got rid of the 1S the other day, and the 1X is next on the chopping block. All right. Yeah, it does look like it's designed for game or for optical games, doesn't it? It's deceiving, very much so. And NJS says, I wish the storage situation was better on Xbox. It's $200 for 1 terabyte. Yeah, and I guess on the PS5, you could just pick up any NVMe drive, right, and pop it in. I'm surprised, and I guess it's proprietary, but I'm surprised nobody's come up with a mechanism by which you can just adapt an NVMe for this expansion slot here. Because at the end of the day, that's what's in there, right? Hey, you know what's kind of neat? They have some, I don't want to say it's Braille. No, yeah, so your USB ports have 3 bumps here. So you can kind of feel around to know what port you're trying to get to. That's pretty clever. That's pretty clever. All right. So let's get to the overhead shot here. Check, check. Just want to see where I left off in the last shot. Okay, so we left off on the console here. So what I'm going to do then is go and kind of hold it in the same position. So I had it like this. All right, there we go. One bag says, I have the apartment to store maple syrup. That would be great if it did, because my brother could certainly capitalize on that one. So there is an adapter, but you need the same SSD as what's inside the Xbox. You can't just buy any one of them and pop them in there. But Game Pass is amazing. I think it's a great deal. And I was going, I had it, basically, I had the Xbox One Gold thing, and I upgraded it. So what I did is I maxed it out, and then I upgraded it. So I got the last 3 years, or 2.5 years, for $180. So I finally got billed for like the first time for Game Pass after all this time. It was crazy. All right, so here we go. Let's go and do the ports. 3, 2, 1. So let's take a look at the ports here on the back. You've got your gigabit Ethernet here for plugging it into your network. There are 2 USB 3 ports here. Now you can plug in external USB hard drives into your Xbox to store games. Just note, though, that many, but not all, of the newer games that are designed for the X and S will not play off of USB storage, but all the older ones do. So if you're downloading 360 games, for example, from Game Pass or from your digital library, you can run those games off of USB storage. But the newer Series S and X games generally have to be played off the internal storage, or you can use their storage expansion here. Seagate makes these storage devices that are much faster than USB that can be plugged into this expansion port here. And this expansion port is also on the Series X. So it's good that they do give you a storage expansion path here on the lower end console. And then, of course, you have your HDMI out and your power connector. So everything is in the back here. There's no power brick. The power supply is built right in, so it's pretty clean, and it will, I think, look pretty nicely on a TV stand or media center thing or whatever. One other thing I found interesting on the back here is that they have, it's not quite braille, but they have these little bumps. I don't know if I can get a better view of them here. They have these little bumps under each of the plugs, so you can kind of feel around as to what each plug is. So the 2-bump thing here is for the network. There are 3 bumps beneath both of the USB ports. You have a longer one here for the HDMI output, and 4 for the storage expansion, and 1 for power. Pretty clever, and a good way to feel around in the back if you have to plug in something or unplug it. On the front, we have another USB port, and then you've got this button, which I believe is to pair up your game controller. And now we're going to get the box back up on the desk, because there's more stuff to unbox here. There's no controller in this box, is there? I thought it came with a controller. Am I wrong? It would be nice to see more stuff on there. All right, let me go and... Yeah, there's no controller in here at all. So what's the deal there, folks? Oh, I'm sorry, there probably is one. Wait a minute. There's more. Yep, never mind. Never mind. All right. Never mind. What was that? Rosanna Dana, whatever, for that Saturday Night Live? Never mind. All right, so that was before my time, but I used to watch it anyhow. My parents would watch it. Okay, so unboxing part 2. There we go. All right, so now, I may actually just let this run on the main channel if it's going to be this long. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to do the rest of the unboxing. All right. Yeah, you know what? Those bumps do make sense, Guy, don't they, right? Because 3 for USB 3, 2 bumps for a bidirectional network. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I bet you somebody at Microsoft is really proud of that and nobody notices it. So there you go. I noticed it. I think it's a great idea. All right, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's get the box back up on the desk here and see what else we get inside of it. So we'll go to my overhead view here. And additionally, we've got a little guide here for setting up. And you can use your smartphone to get going, which makes it a little bit easier than having to type a bunch of stuff in with the game controller. And then we've got our HDMI cable in the box. Now, one thing that I noticed with this is that this one comes with a high-speed cable, which I believe should be fine for 4K. But if you wanted to play 8K video, you need the ultra-high-speed cable, which the Series X comes with, but this one does not. So if you are one of the few folks that might be playing around with 8K, you might need that. But I think most people playing 8K stuff will likely go with a Series X for the super high end there. This is my US power cable. And then you get a game controller matched to the color of your console, just one. Back in my day, we used to get 2 controllers with our game consoles, but not anymore. So here's your Xbox Series S controller, a white version of the one that I have on the X, although there's no buttons here on the side, which I believe the X comes with on their controller. So it's a slightly more basic controller. And then we have some batteries for the controller as well. And those go into the battery door here. And you can also use a special rechargeable battery that Microsoft sells optionally. So there you go. So that is the unboxing. And stay tuned, because we're going to be taking a look at the media playback capabilities of this console in a little bit. And I'm eager to get this thing set up and start playing with that. So stay tuned. More to come on the Series S. And until next time, this is Lon.TV. Thanks for watching. All right. Let's see how that came out there. You know, somebody was asking about blind people gaming. I was just listening to a podcast where somebody who was playing Atari games just through the sound. So I think there are some areas where, some games that actually can work for visually impaired folks. All right. Yeah, I was pretty sure that the Series X came with, let me look at my Series X unboxing video. Because I did do a Series X unboxing. Me and a million other people. But that video actually did pretty well. I got 9,400 views on it, which I was not expecting. So I think I might actually put this on my main channel now that I'm looking at it here. Let's see. I'm just going through my. So I was trying to remember if it came with. Let's see here. Here, I'll pull this over to your window so you can see it as well. Oops. Give me 1 second here. You know what? I don't think I actually unboxed the controller in this video. Let me go back here and see. Yeah, you know what? I went right for the console booting up, and I didn't actually unbox the controller. Let's see. Here's the controller part. So here is the controller part of that video. And I don't think I showed the back of it. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think I did. But I think you all are probably, yeah. Oh, it has the same controller. Oh, the Elite controller. So why did I think, I must have gotten it confused with something else. Shoot. All right, so I got to go back in and see if I can fix that part. All right, let me take a look at that real quick. All right, just different colors. So I need to fix that. See, that's why I have you all here watching me do this, so I don't screw up. All right, so let me go back and let's watch that final part. I could have sworn I got a different controller with my, but you know, I get so many controllers now, I have no idea. I don't even know what day it is anymore, to be honest with you. Okay, so let me go back and let's see if we can salvage that part. 3, 2, 1. All right, let's get the box back up on the desk of your console, just one. Back in my day, we used to get 2 controllers with our game consoles, but not anymore. So here's your Xbox Series S controller, a white version of the one that I have on the X, although there's no... And let's see if we can salvage this here. So here's your Xbox Series S controller. I'm going to cut it right there. And what I'm going to do... Watch, this is the magic of editing. I'm going to cut in this other clip, and then I'm going to put it on top of that. So there we go. All right, 3, 2, 1. And this is the same controller you'll get with the Series X, but it is white and not black like it was on the X that we unboxed last year. Fixed. So now, when I edit it, I can put that part in, and we're good. That's how I roll. All right, give me 1 second here. I'm just going to close out this window there. Okay. So let's play through the rest of it here. That actually shortens the video up too, so check it out. A white version of the one that I have on the X, although there's no buttons here on the side, which I believe the... right, so that's the spot we're going to fix. X comes with on their controller, so it's a slightly more basic controller. We have some batteries for... Then we have some batteries. Perfect, so I can just slide that right in. Perfect. 1 second. All right, so I'm just going to log that clip. That'll fix it. All right, so now I got a few minutes to kill here. Maybe what we'll do is get my display up here on the desk, and I'll just set it up real quick. And we'll see how loud it is. Because what I'm going to do tomorrow morning is go through and get it all set up with all my media players and everything. Now the display I'm hooking it up to is a 4K display, but it does not support Dolby Vision. But it is pretty clean, I think, in how it looks. position it this way. Yeah, I'm going to start following or rewatching some of those emulator videos because I'm curious about that. And I'm going to plug it into my network because I am sure there's going to be some big old update that it's going to download. So right now, just to answer CF's question here, let me go. Actually, what I'm going to disconnect my external video because we're not going to need that now. So the question that CFS just asked is there going to be a path to convert your physical media to optical or to, you know what I mean, physical to digital? No. So there's not like a disc to digital kind of thing that you'd have with a few of those programs. So yeah, I think at some point they're going to do that. I remember reading somewhere that they're going to try to set up some mechanism by which you can even stream the games that you've paid for, but I'm not sure how that's all going to work. Yeah, let's plug the power in. Now imagine the fan's going to come on pretty loud when we first turn it on, and then it'll settle down. And by the way, if you are fans of Xbox, I had an interview with Major Nelson not too long ago. It was a fun chat. And that's on my channel. And if you are into Xbox and it didn't show it to you, blame the algorithm, because the algorithm frustrates me, especially when I went, you know, my space thing didn't do all that well from a viewership perspective. But I'm going to still do the space thing because it's therapeutic for me. Hey, you know what else I noticed with the controller? It's got a USB-C connector on it now. I don't think that was on there before. All right, let's fire her up. There we go. And you are correct, the controllers back then were a lot less difficult. And Blimey did like the launch video. Isn't that cool? Yeah, that worked out great. I was so pleased with how the camera on the ground worked. Yeah, this is what I typically do. I just edit it in. And then see, here's my thing. I'm actually very fortunate. My wife and I we get along really well. We don't fight about much, if anything. I have a very no drama lifestyle is how I tend to go. All right, so I got to set up my Xbox app here. So give me a second and get that going. Xbox. So I have my phone here. And I got to sign in with my account. So bear with me for a second here. And then we'll type in my password, and then I got to enter my two-factor code. And then we should be good to go. All right, so all right, we're almost there. So hang on a second. So now I got to go to not now. Have a new console. Yes, I have a new console. And I have more new consoles than the average human. Now, one thing I should probably get is a PlayStation. I haven't journeyed into that yet. Okay. Connecting to your console to continue, join Wi-Fi, which I just did. So it's connecting to my Wi-Fi here. Or it's connecting to the console's Wi-Fi. So I guess, all right, Xbox would like to find, okay, connect to console. Connecting to your console. So I'm kind of repeating what I just did. Because what I did do is I plugged it into Ethernet, thinking that might go a little bit easier. Oh, it's connected. There we go. Okay, so connected. Next. Needs a 1.3 gigabyte update, which will, all right, that's no problem here. And I can turn on remote features. Why not? All right. So now it's going to download the update here. See how fast my internet is, though? So there you go. Now it's going to max out at a gigabit because that's all, all it's got for thing there. Sega! That's right. My Sega, actually, I should take that back. My Sega Genesis only came with one controller. I had to buy a second one. But my Sega Master System had two, and a light gun. And James loves, yeah, so I guess he's actually from not far from where I live. So he and I have been communicating for many years now, because I've always been a fan of his podcast. But yeah, great interview. Check it out. It's on my channel. You can watch it anytime you want, on demand. And Brenna is joining us. Nice phone. Yeah, I got the purple one. This is the purple phone. I figured when I was buying my iPhone, I'd get like a slightly different color, so I went with the purple one. And I'll tell you what, say what you want about the iPhone. I was really pleased with how well it worked with the space launch. Like it got the best video of everything I had there. My other camera did okay because it could zoom in further, but Christoph Howard is here. Hello there. Yeah, I could see them coming up with some option for that. Years ago, like a long time ago, they had an external HD DVD player for the Xbox 360. I had that, but it failed as far as the product was concerned. The Blu-ray kind of beat out HD DVD, and that was it. But I do have one of those somewhere in my stuff there. And thank you for the kind words, Bo-Ro. And one bag. And Manuel works the graveyard shifts. You never know what day it is. Yeah, it's tough, right? When you wake up, it's kind of light out, and like this time of year, it's like dark at it's 4:30, and it's dark outside right now as I look. So, oh, I see. So if you use the Plex add-on for Kodi, you can get Dolby Vision. I'll have to play around with that a little bit more. Yeah, I love this purple color. I think this is a cool, you know what's nice about it? It's not like too purpley, but it's got like, it's purple enough. And the metal band here, it's hard to see on this camera. Let me try the other view here. The metal band is also purple, which is, and like, I hate to put it in a case because I can't see the purple. So my case is AppleCare. And when you think about the cost, I mean, certainly AppleCare is more expensive than a case, but what are you going to do, you know? All right, so we're just waiting for the update to finish up. Yeah, it's a great media player. We covered and actually, believe it or not, if you can still find a 1S, also a very good media player. It's a little noisier than, this is like completely silent right now, by the way. The 1S is also a great media player. And yeah, I think I might try some emulation. Hang on a second, my wife is calling me. Okay. So now I need to go back to my app here. Hang on a second, everybody. So I have to go back to my app. All right, hang on a second here. Skip family members for now. I'm just going through the rest of the, all right, this is going to be this is Series S. All right, so next, so I'm naming it right now. Which apps do you want on your console? I'm going to skip that for now. Oh, I can even copy my settings, but I'm going to start fresh. All right, all done. Okay, so now I'm in. I'm going to skip this. I gotta turn the controller on here. So let me get the controller going. All right, and I hit the A button. Okay, so we're getting this thing booted up. And it is totally quiet, by the way. Make this your home Xbox. No, don't change, because my other one is my home one. And now we're going to have it detect my TV settings. Now this monitor is just a basic 4K monitor. And we'll keep display at 4K. Now remember, the games, though, will run at a lower resolution. Take me home. Control your console using just your voice. I will skip that for now. That's the Google Assistant. How about that? All right, give me 1 sec. I just want to change one setting on here. My color and theme, my background. Give me 1 sec. I'm just looking for one thing here real quick. So I'm using I've been using this gamer image since my Xbox 360. Maybe even before that. This might actually go back to the Xbox One when it first... Yeah, actually, that does go back to the Xbox One. So I'm not changing that. I don't want to change it ever. But I think I should have like a 20-year thing here. But give me 1 second, because I just want to change one thing. There we go. Yeah, okay. That's what I wanted to change. Okay, so that's good. Now, if you are looking to use this as a media player, there is one thing that I suggest you adjust, which is, if we go over to TV and display options first. Okay, so good. So by default now, it's actually enabling 24 Hertz mode, which I think is awesome, because what this will do when you're playing a movie or something, it'll switch your television into 24p mode. So that is where you want to go. And Basic says that Sony's working on I could see that happening, to give that as an option, right? Because this is not, you know, if they added an external optical drive, I don't think this cannibalizes the, oh, by the way, S. Renda, thank you for the follow on Amazon. If they added an option for an external drive, I don't think it cannibalizes the Series X, because it is much more powerful of a system, right? And CF says I should look for a frameless iPhone case. Maybe I'll take a look at that. And does it provide any protection? That's the big question, right? Does it actually protect the... I guess my biggest concern, you know, obviously with smashing the screen is one, but it needs to have like a lip around the edge so that if I drop it face down, the screen doesn't touch whatever it's landing on. That to me is the biggest thing there. Now what I'm going to do on my other television upstairs when I hook it up there is I'm going to enable all these HDR modes. So HDR10, HDR, and Dolby Vision. And then for audio modes, that's one other option that you need to adjust. This is for almost entirely for Plex, by the way. Allow pass-through. That's a big one for Plex, because this will pass through lossless audio just like the other ones do. And Basic, yep, you are correct. This is a great Game Pass console. And on that topic, why don't we browse around here and see what's good. We can even download Flight Simulator for this sucker. Isn't that crazy? By the way, YouTube has given, hopefully I'm back now. Yep, 55 minutes. So YouTube has given up trying to fix this problem, by the way. So it is what it is. So let's see how that game is coming in here. Yep, so I'm downloading at 0.5 gigabits. I have found, by the way, when you have a multi-gigabit connection, it is very rare that anything is going to use even a fraction of your available bandwidth based on all these peering arrangements that they do. So Carol wants to know what's better in this revision. So this one is kind of like the low end of the next generation one. So if you have an older 4K set or you have a 1080p television, this is going to be more than adequate, and it will play all the games. And the visual effects will look good. It won't play at 4K, but it'll play the new games and it'll look nice. So if you have like a 1S, this is a nice upgrade over the 1S because you'll have access to some of those newer games. Now, what it also does is it works with cloud gaming. So you can actually stream the games first to see if it's something you want to play and then jump into it. So let's see if we can find, I remember Mark Dell telling me this trick. Let's go to See All. And I think there was a way to sort the game library. Let me go back over to my full library here. So I'm used to how it's set up on mine upstairs. I will say that I'm not crazy about the interface. Let's go to full library, and then I can sort by console type. There we go. So I have available to me 587 games. That's a combination of what I have purchased, but also what I have available to me through Game Pass. So for example, this first item here are games that are optimized for the X and S. So let's take a look at another one here that might be fun to play with. Well, it's not going to be like 1,200 gigabytes of... Gosh, there's so much. Like, where do you even start? Like, that's part of my problem. It's like, I don't even know where to start. There's just too much. It's a plethora of riches. And we're still downloading Need for Speed Heat. We're up to about 760 megabits per second. That game is 31 gigabytes in size, by the way. So it is quite a lot. Yeah, I think so. I mean, where this one, and I pointed this out, and this will be in the unboxing video. I think the big differentiator here on the Series S is that if you're new to the Xbox platform and you're intending to do Game Pass, then this one's going to be fine. The problem is that if you have a lot of Xbox games on disc, this doesn't play it, right? So that's a limiting factor. And Kevin says Dirt 5 is really good. So let's see. That's the first recommendation I got here. So let's see. Is that on the list of Dirt 5? Here we go. Let's grab that one. And this is a Series S and X. So you can see that right there, XS. So that's enhanced for that one. And let's see what our queue is looking like. Now, when this is done, and this was noted at the outset here. By the way, I'm almost up to a gigabit now. We're up to about 854 megabits per second, as you can see right there. This first game is 31.2 gigabytes. Dirt 5, when it starts downloading, is probably going to be in that neighborhood too. So you're not going to fit that many games on this. Maybe 3 or 4. Yeah, and I think if you got a nice TV like that, the Series X is the better way to go. But yeah, this screen is 4K. It's a 4K monitor. But the games will only play at 1440p. And Will Rand says, hit the random button. Oh, let's try that. Let's see. Let's take a look at that. Full library. There's a random button, huh? Where's that? Filter? Oops, word. Oh, surprise me. Yeah. Hang on. Let me go back over there. Not sure what to play. Surprise me. Hey, look at that. It went right to Dirt. Probably because it's the only 2 games I have on here. That's clever. All right, so Need for Speed is almost installed. I don't think I have any audio on this monitor, so we're not going to be able to hear it, but we can at least look at it and see how it runs. I'm just curious to see how big Dirt Dirt's going to be. And CF is jealous of my bandwidth. Yeah, I would have been jealous of my bandwidth a little while ago too, because I was suffering here on the upstream. But now we can stream in 4K. We had a discussion in my vMix chat the other day, or vMix group, about streaming at 4K. And a lot of people were saying, oh, you don't need to do that. Who's going to watch at that resolution? And I raised my hand and I said, I do it because I can. So I'm pushing up probably about 30 or 40 megabits per second between the, actually doing about 30 on this YouTube stream and then another 2.5 on, yeah, so this game is 40 gigabytes. And a lot of them will start playing before before they're finished downloading. But you can see how quickly they load up, and that's because it's got that NVMe built in, so it's pretty quick to get going. Although it doesn't get you through the legal stuff any faster, right? And Meatface wants me to turn on the Mac SE back there. I can't do that because it's not working presently. I have to get the whole thing recapped. I need somebody that knows how to do recapping better than I can. Here's a question from Jess Regan. Does it improve the experience when playing Xbox One games? Because sometimes like Soul Calibur 6 are painfully slow. That's a good question. Does anyone know the answer to that? I can try to load one up. Yeah, and actually, you know what's nice about this, James, is that I end up getting some really good B-roll. That if I have, sometimes I'll do a review and I'll want to reference something that was from the live stream, and I've got, you know, this 4K B-roll up here that I can use. Here, we'll play solo here real quick. And SnowRunner's another good one. I'll have to try that one out. Yeah, I like racing games. I love the original Burnout games. I never got into the open world one, Burnout, whatever it is. But Burnout Revenge is one of my favorites. I still play that one upstairs. My original disc from 2006. I'm still playing it to this day. I love that game. And here is your answer. So some older Xbox One games have an FPS boost. But I'll check and see if I have access to that game in a minute. But it looks pretty good. Now remember, this is going to max out at 1440p. And in most cases, it'll be 1080p. But it looks good. And remember, the output resolution is 4K in the sense that my monitor, you know, it's gonna basically render it at 1080p, and then it's upscaling to 4K here. But I don't have the sound enabled here. But what I don't hear is the fan running. It is really quiet. And remember, we noted the same thing with my Series X, how quiet it was. And I think it's because they use enormous fans that don't have to turn as fast. So it can move more air turning slowly. I got a boost here. There we go. But it seems to be running pretty nice. This is not, I think this is just a regular Xbox One game, so it's not pushing it that hard. And we'll try out that Dirt game in a minute, which is downloading in the background. Yeah, Quick Resume is really cool. And I covered that when I did my review of the Series X last year. Was that a year ago or was that 2 years? How long has it been now? I lose track of time. Because now what I can do here, if I jump out of the game, Dirt 5 is still coming in. But what'll happen here is I can jump out of the game, load up another one, and then quick resume back to where I left off in the other. It's really cool how fast that works. And I guess it's basically like dumping the RAM onto the disk, right? I'm not drifting very well here. This does kind of remind me a little bit of Burnout, though. It's got that same vibe. I guess if you go in the wrong direction, you build up your turbo. Can I do a Burnout, like, kind of knock them off the game track here? See, that would have resulted in a takedown in the other game. But yeah, it's funny. Like I hear my production system fan more than I hear this one, so it's pretty quiet. Yeah, very, very quiet. I feel some, some air coming out of the top, but I don't hear the fan. Yeah, they got rid of games with gold, didn't they? So and you had to claim them. So I used to keep a little to-do item in my to-do list, like every month or twice a month when those games came out. I would go and grab those. Now, can I load Dirt 5? No. So let's go and see the full queue here. Now, what will happen here when Dirt 5 is done installing, we can jump back into it. Okay, so let's suspend the game, and that'll speed up the download process here. And what was the other one? It was let's see if we have Soul Calibur 6. I don't think we do. I know I don't own that game, but maybe I have it as part of my... But I do like how you can go to your full library, and if you have Game Pass, you can see everything that you have access to, including the things you bought. So I can go to just the ones that I own. So as you see, I don't own all... I actually got quite a few. Most of these games I accumulated during the in the Xbox Gold era, right? But you can see I only have like a handful of games that are actually certified for that. So here's my games with gold. And EA Play is part of Game Pass. All right, so let's go and look for Soul Calibur 6, which is an older game, right? So let's go scroll down to the Xbox One era. So I have it sorted right now by the console type. So it looks like, oh, they mix them all together. Okay, so Xbox One and Xbox, OG Xbox and 360 are kind of merged in one thing here. But I don't think Soul Calibur's in my, well, I have SSX though, how about that? I had no idea I had that one. Yeah, I don't see Soul Calibur. I have Super Street Fighter 4. That's 360. I don't have many original Xbox games. And Andre got a bunch from the Mixer area. That's cool. Oh, TV says they still are doing that, but they don't give out the three. So, all right, that's right. They ended the backwards compatibility stuff. Yeah, I still have a bunch in there, as you can see. So it does 4K, but not for gaming. So 1440p is the max resolution of the one for the Series S for gaming. Yeah, they kept the interface. I think what they've done is they've made this more of a transition, that your hardware can support certain things and the interface is the same. I do miss the, believe it or not, the old Blade interface is what I really miss. And Clayface says that some say the Series S is holding things back. And that might be due, what, to the reason that was stated earlier, that they have to support this console and the X, which is much more powerful, right? So we'll try this game when it finishes downloading, and then I got to call it a day because I got to go feed the children in a few minutes. All right, so let's see if this speeds things up a bit. So we'll try Dirt 5, which is a higher end game. So Plex works with regular HDR, but not Dolby Vision. But Dolby Vision is going to work in some of the other apps, which we're going to cover in the thing there. Yeah, I love the Blade. The Blade interface was awesome. All right, so we're going to let that finish up here. You know what I could do? Somebody's asking about sharing the screen. What I could do is I can run this through my video capture, give you the full screen of what this looks like. So let's try that real quick. So I'm going to pull out this cable here, and I'm going to just attach this to here. And I'm going to run my cable. They gave you a pretty long cable here, which is nice. And I can run this over to my loop out, and we'll get the full picture here. So I can just loop that back through here. And then we'll just turn on the capture device. Hey, Ellie. My daughter Ellie's coming down to see you. What are you doing? Okay, where'd you put him? Oh, well, did Mommy bring him inside?
No.
We should have her. I'm pretty sure she did.
No.
No?
Mommy said they were in your car.
Oh, they're in my car? Oh, then they're still in my car. Would you like me to get them for you? You want to go sit on the couch for a minute? All right, let me go do that for you real quick. Everybody, I'll be right back. Okay, hang on. All right, I'm back. So tonight you're going to see what? No, you don't need the headphones. You're okay. So my little one just came down. You're going to see my little one tonight on her debut video on the channel, right, Ellie? So we're going to have my two daughters starring in the video. So now I've got a full screen view of it here. And just to ensure, yep, we're getting 4K out of it. So I'm just going to let that finish downloading, and then we can see how it runs. And Carol's kids are going to bed right now. Yeah, I think this is a good point that Jess raises here. Yeah, I mean, this is for the price, especially what you can get it for right now, this is way more powerful than any PC you're going to get at that price point for sure. And I'm sure to some degree Microsoft subsidizes that cost, right? And you know what's great is that I think they kind of know, especially when you look at the emulation, how they're making it easy, even though they're not advertising it, that I think there's kind of a nod to the enthusiast crowd that, hey, we're going to unlock this thing and make it accessible, right? But I do love my Series S. I think it's a great system. Like I said, I just don't have as much time as I would like to actually play the games on it. But there are some game sales going on right now, a lot of them. I was listening to Major Nelson's podcast the other day, so he's got a lot of good deals on digital, but also physical. So there are some physical deals on Amazon right now too. All right, we're almost there. And this one will be a SX enhanced game. And there are currently 3,000 games on sale. So take your pick. At least it says on sale. Let's see, I clicked on sale. Oh, 827 on sale. That's still a lot. They got bundles, all sorts of stuff. I got to do some shopping. All right, almost there. Yeah, so we just downloaded in the course of maybe 15 minutes, 40 gigabytes. And I'm only getting about 500 megabits per second, so I do have a much faster connection, but that's about all I'm getting out of it right now. But I think it might be because I'm sharing the switch with my video output that long story, but I capture over the network as far as the video is concerned. All right, let's give Dirt 5 a shot here. And actually, I could bring audio in too. Let me just turn the volume down here. Sorry, that was my fault. That's the one I want. Okay. Okay, that's better. All right, we'll do a quick little run here. I got to agree to everything. Why do I feel like I'm signing away my seriously? How do I just get past this? What's this, mod or hack? You're agreeing to a lot here, let me tell you. And it's almost comical. I kid you not. Really? It almost takes as long to download the game as it does to go through. I kid you not, there's even more here. We are going to sell you down the river and back again. I can't get out of this. This is what gaming is like today? Yeah, I'm going to turn the music off, actually. You're right. I'm going to get like knocked off of YouTube here. All right, so... Okay. So now... I'm going to skip making it... All right, whatever. So, okay, oh, wait a minute. What did I just do here? I just missed something really important, and I can't get back. All right, let's just go. So there was an option for some quality settings. Now, I am capturing at 60 frames per second. Jason, don't press the accept button. I saw my kids' names in there. What did You'll see my kids' names tonight anyhow, because they're going to be on a video tonight, so that's all right. Okay, here we go. Seems to be running pretty nicely. I haven't played this on the Series X, so I can't comment on what it looks like on that console. I can definitely see, if you look out into the distance here, it's obviously it's not as crisp as it would be on a Series X. So it's like running a PC game at low settings. But I'll tell you what, that fan is not running. Or if it is, I mean, it's running, but I don't hear it. So this is a very silent running console, despite having a cooling fan. Yeah, so I can definitely see, and if you're watching on a full screen view, let me pull this up here. You could definitely see that the fidelity isn't quite there, right? But it runs at a good frame rate. So that's that. Let me see what I can do on settings here. Oh, video options are grayed out. So I have to probably quit the game let me quit the game here and see. How do I get out of this game? Restart photo mode settings. I'm stuck. I can't get out. I guess we'll wait till the end of the race here where I lose and see where we end up. But the frame rate's solid. I mean, at least it feels solid to me, at least. But I could definitely see where the Series X is going to look a lot better. All right, let's see. I need to get out of this level here. How do let's just get a restart. Let's see if we can. I can restart the race, but I can't get out of the game. Let's see. You're really kind of stuck in this thing. Here, let me show you one other thing, though. So that's that. And then if I go back to Need for Speed, quick resume. right back. Isn't that wild? So you can jump right back in, and that's something obviously we demoed on the Series S or Series X, but also works here, which is not on the older consoles. So I can jump right back into this game, hit the button, go back to Dirt 5, quick resume. No, not quick resume. So this one's not quick resuming. Interesting. Yeah, exactly. I just live inside the. It's pretty funny. Yeah, it's true. Yep. No, we got mouths to feed, as they say. Carol's wondering how much bandwidth is needed for the upstream. So I think if you're asking for my for the stream that I'm doing right now, I think, let me look on my settings here. So I am sending up 30 megabits per second to YouTube, and then 2.5, and that's max. It's obviously a variable rate. And then right now, the 4K video signal coming out. Now, granted, the game is rendering at 1080p, but it's coming out at 4K for its output. It's a nice hand warmer. This is probably consuming about 150 megabits per second on the LAN. And I think the video capture device that I'm using is on the same switch that this is connected to, where they're sharing some upstream bandwidth. So that within my network, local network, so that might be limiting things a little bit. I think Moonlight is available. Let's take a look at that. I'm pretty sure it is. Let's go over to the store. And if it isn't, I'm guessing there's ways to side load it on, right? So let me go back out to the store. And I don't know if any of my moderators are in, but I'd love for you to take out 95 mega there. So let's search for, what are we looking for? Moonlight. Huh, I don't see it here. Let's take a look at apps. Yeah, it's not there, but I would guess you could probably sideload something. Because a lot of those Windows Universal apps you'll find on here. So like, for example, the HD Home Run app, which is our TV watching thing, that will work on this, with DRM supported, by the way. And Andre says the PS5 is also quiet. Yeah, they've really upped the thermal design on this generation. It's pretty impressive. It is really, really impressive. All right. Well, everybody, yeah, let me get rid of 69 mega there. Here, you know what? I'm going to give you the power, Recipe Bob. There you go. You got the power. And then Carol's wondering, let me pull up Carol's comment here. Yeah, so 1 gig symmetrical is fine. You know what the tricky thing is that it's a matter of how the peering works. In other words, like Comcast is able to deliver a dedicated 30 megabit per second stream to YouTube, which is why this works. But you could have a gigabit symmetrical connection, and if the agreement isn't there between YouTube and your ISP, then it gets to be more complicated. And Basic says the PS5 is as big as his house. That's a good one. So yeah, good stuff. All right, well, I've got enough to get started with here. Quick question for those of you still watching. What would you like? I'm going to do a video about this thing as a media player, and I would love to hear about what you would like to see insofar as YouTube playback is concerned. I'll definitely test the basic HDR stuff, but I wasn't sure if there are additional YouTube modes that you are watching that you are curious about. So let me know in the comments, or better, send me an email, lon@lon.tv. That would be really, really helpful. Wow, yeah, you can put it on a television. That's yeah, the smart TVs are getting pretty smart. I have the older LG OLED, and it's not as compatible with some stuff, but oh, Carol wants to see some games for kids. So let's look at the Game Pass library here. So let's go back to home. Let me go back into my games and apps, because there are a few on there, and I'm pretty sure they group things. So let's go to Game Pass, just to see what's in the Game Pass library. And I'm going to filter it by genre. Do they have a kids section? Family and kids. So here, let me pull this up for you. So this is what is currently available for family and kids on Game Pass. So ignore this part, because this is like locked in. But this is all the kids stuff. So not like a lot, but a good amount. You know what game my daughter loves right now is Unpacking. This one, it's like a game where you're moving somebody in and you have to put all their stuff away. My daughter loves it. She's like an organizer. So not a lot on the kids stuff on Game Pass. I mean, a good amount, but certainly not the full library. And here's all the, now this stuff is not all kids, but these are the things that have been added recently to Game Pass. Oh, Return to Monkey Island, that's a good game. I bet you they have a PC version too. And if you have the Ultimate, these games will run on PC too. And then Leaving Soon, so these are the games that are leaving. Now the deal is when a game is leaving, Space Warlord Organ Trading Sim, what the heck is that? When a game is leaving, you can buy it at a discount. I think they give you like a 20% off discount when games are leaving. So there you go. All right, I hear my garage door opening, which means my wife is home, which means I'm going to have a very hungry... Are you hungry, Ellie? Are you hungry over there? I have 2 hungry children, so I got to attend to them. Yeah, that's right. I guess they're calling it a kid's game, but that's like where like the neighbor comes after the kid, right? I don't know if that's a very kid-friendly game, but... And Paw Patrol and Peppa Pig are on Game Pass. What about Bluey? Bluey's my favorite. Yeah, Paw Patrol's on here, right there. There's 2 Paw Patrol games, Adventure City Calls and Mighty Pups Save Adventure Bay. Oh, and Grand Prix. That's a good amount. All right. I got to run. But this was fun. So look for the, I'm going to be working on this video tomorrow. So look for my video of the media playback capabilities of the Series S coming up very shortly. And I thank you all for joining me on this unboxing adventure. Tonight, you're going to see my kids in a video. We've got a review, or not a review, a tutorial, part of my sponsored series that I was doing for Mevo. So that one's going up tonight. So be on the lookout for that. And I've got some leftover Chinese food in the fridge that I will be feeding to one of my children, and the other one is going to have something else because she doesn't like Chinese food. So there you go. All right, got a jet. I will talk to you all soon. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back soon with more. I probably have another live stream coming up tomorrow. That one might be only on Amazon, but we'll see. Maybe I'll pop it on here too. But set your notifications, follow me on Amazon, click the link, and I will catch you in a little bit. Bye-bye.